nightmare.
I know, darling. We all are.
I sent a letter to Gorax, because it's my turn, and he hasn't even responded. What's going on, Mother?
Well, Pansy, it truly is horrible. Claire has always been a rebel. She's never listened to me. And now she's run off and she's tricked your sister Prissy into leaving us as well.
What do you mean? Why would she do that?
Well, Claire has never trusted me. And now she's convinced Prissy that I don't know what's best. She's turned her against me, against all of us.
What did she disagree with you about? Did you try to explain it to them again?
They didn't even come to ask me about it. No conversation. Just rebellion.
Mother, that doesn't sound like Prissy at all.
Pipsy! Don't you question me too. Trust that I know best. Don't let that horrible attitude Claire has spread to your heart as well.
Yes, be careful, Pipsy.
Now, girls, why don't you go practice your foreign languages? We have some handsome visitors coming this weekend. I'm sorry, not handsome. Rich. And I'd like you to be able to have some nice conversations with them.
Yes, of course, Mother. We do want to make a good impression. Oh, joy. Visitors. What about Claire and Prissy?
Oh, don't worry about them, darling. I will take care of everything. Cato? Did you find them?
I found someone, Your Majesty. Bandits in the forest. They called themselves land pirates.
That is the most absurd thing I have ever heard. But what about Princess Prissy and Claire?
It appears that they have visited Gorax. Apparently, Sir Alexander was quite a mess when he left.
They have joined up with Sir Alexander? Well, that can't be good.
He seems more or less useless at this point, my queen. I wouldn't worry.
I should have been harsher than simply locking Claire away. I should have exiled her.
She's a troublemaker. Her and Alex.
Alexander is still of great importance to us. Maybe now that his confidence has been broken, it will finally be easy to persuade him to marry one of my girls.
Focused on the prize. You are as intelligent as you are beautiful.
Oh, enough flattering. They are up to something. Make sure you and your men are ready for anything.
Starting to feel like my old self again. It feels good.
Good thing. We were starting to run out of places to keep your origami.
Look. I made a T-Rex. Jump, jump,
Okay,
jump, jump,
but that's the last one.
jump.
I'm glad you're mostly back to your normal self, sire. You really encouraged the people today. Brought them together.
What can I say? Not everyone can be as charismatic as me.
Oh, and we had nothing to do with it? Back to your old self for sure? Thinking you're so special and better than everyone else? You're basically a royal.
Here we go again. I thought we were finally on the same side, Claire.
We are. I mean, you're fine and stuff, I guess. But I'm just saying that all royals have this air of superiority about themselves.
Listen to yourself. You're trying to make yourself sound better just because you don't think of yourself as a royal. As if being a royal is a reason to be ashamed.
It's fine if that's your thing, like I said. Look, I'm really trying, but it just seems so boring and predictable. Why do all royals seem the same?
It seems you're not so concerned with being a royal as much as being the same kind of royal as Prissy. Or Alex, for that matter.
Well, yeah. Why can't I just be me and that be fine?
You can be. Just stop telling me that what I want to be is stupid.
I'm sensing a lot of unresolved tension.
Being yourself is hard. I mean, sometimes it's not enough You know?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Just with all of this Gorax and tricks and everything.
Somehow, if you're you feel like a failure. It's easiest to just run away.
You know, we talk a lot about overcoming our differences. I think it's time we start living them. Claire, I just want you to know that I don't think you have to wear makeup or study foreign policy or any of that to be a real princess. Jesus tells us to live lives that glorify him, and if you're doing that, then I think that's what matters. We all have problems, and Jesus helps us to overcome them, but we aren't supposed to be cookie-cutter Christians. God makes us different for a purpose, because our differences make us stronger. I can see that now.
Yeah. That's what Father always said. I know in my heart that's what matters. And it's fine if you like all that stuff. I mean, you're really good at it. I just wish I could be who everyone wants me to be.
Like I said, it's too hard. Because sooner or later, you let everyone down.
There have been times when I know I've let you down. When I wasn't fast enough or smart enough. But in the end, I didn't let that failure define me. I found that at my lowest moments is when I can see God's grace most clearly. I can fail in a million different ways. I can get scared and run. I can abandon my responsibilities. I can feel like the whole world is against me. But God's grace is never ending. Even when we were just human garbage, Jesus loved us, died for us, and rose from the grave. Nothing in this big, crazy world can separate us from the love Jesus poured out on the cross. So, let faith be your foundation, and God will always be there to pick you up when you fall.
Someday you will find there's a joy that goes beyond this earthly life. Someday you will see, even in your doubts, faith can make you free. If we could fix our eyes upon our helper, realize there is more to life than winning every fight. We are not defined by every time we fly or we fall. Through each fear and every failure, God will be our helper. So do not be afraid to fall when you can rise above it all on wings of grace.
Someday you will see God has grace for us, a love that does not bleed. And someday you will find at our weakest point is when His mercy shines. If we could fix our eyes on our helper, realize
That there is more to life than winning every fight. of the unknown.
So we cling to all his promises and trust that God is on his throne. And there is more to life than winning every fight. And we are not defined by every time we fly or we fall. We fear and every failure, God will be our helper.
So I won't be afraid to fall. No, I will rise above it all on wings of grace. On wings of grace.
We've got to fight to remember that God doesn't measure us by our accomplishments, but by what he accomplished on our behalf on the cross.
Let's all try to remember that tomorrow.
Right. Okay. And Prissy?
I'm sorry about, I guess, making fun of you and stuff.
It's okay, Claire. I forgive you. And I should have encouraged you to be more like how God made you. More like Jesus, instead of making you feel like you had to be like me.
Thanks. So tomorrow, what's the plan?
It was a close one.
Prissy! You came back!
Keep your voices down, please. Mother said you ran away. Where is Mother? I need to talk to her.
Getting her nails done like usual. I just got mine done, look.
I need you both to get somewhere safe. I'm hoping things don't get out of hand, but I need to be sure that you won't get into any trouble.
Not until you tell us what's going on. Are you planning a rebellion?
Rebellion is such a strong word. Mother would probably call it a rebellion. Yes, but I have no choice. What Mother's doing is hurting and devaluing people. Everyone matters, royal or peasant.
Is that so, Prissy? I see Claire has had quite the influence on you.
Mother, please just listen to me. I know you're trying to do what's best for us, but you've lost sight of what matters.
And you would rebel against me because Claire says so?
Claire has nothing to do with this, Mother. God says we are to care for the poor and the hurting, not hide them away. Time I start standing up for what's right. I can't ignore what God says any longer.
Prissy's right, Mother. I know you're trying to pull Everaftia out of debt, but aren't you hurting the people more than you're helping them?
Pipsy, don't think so much. Princes don't want a princess who is smarter than them.
She can be just as smart as she likes, because God made her that way. And any prince would be lucky to marry someone as intelligent as her. In fact, Pipsy is probably the smartest person in this room. And if you'd only listen to her, then maybe she could help us find a way out of this debt without hurting or marrying anyone.
Don't you lead them astray too, Prissy. This is for your own good. If you can't see that, then...
No, please don't put a hit it when we fight! Come to think of some wisely placed investments would...
Quiet! What is that noise?
I don't want anyone to get hurt, but the people won't be ignored any longer.
What?
That noise is the sound of your people. They're coming to finally be heard. They want a queen who cares about them and who wants to help them.
And who will rule in my place? Claire? Ha! Come, girls, it seems we'll have an early lesson today.
Let go of me.
This is for your own good, Prissy. Don't disobey me.
Go back to where you came from. You're no soldiers. You can't hope to stand against us in a real fight.
Oh, yeah? Well, you're dumb.
Please. I graduated the top of my class at the Everaftia Evil Henchman Academy.
That doesn't even sound real.
Well, it is. We met in Gorax the Terrible's basement, and I was the top student.
What are you two even fighting about right now?
Well, there are more soldiers than I expected. Listen to your boyfriend, Princess. Citizens, it's over. Go back to your home so we can kill these two. I promise, no harm will come to you. Now!
Come on, you again?
Surprise.
Captain, can you hold them here?
We can keep them occupied.
Let's get going, sire.
Oh, you've chosen your allegiances poorly, huh? Much like your hairstyle. Well, that was rude. He interrupted my monologue.
Why don't you do it anyways, Captain?
No, the moment is ruined. But ye are fine pirates indeed.
Well, well, Sir Alexander. Claire, I've been expecting you.
Apologies, Your Grace, but we won't let you tear this kingdom apart.
Alexander.
Not to worry, Princess. I'm here to rescue you, like always. Have I ever failed you?
Never.
Cute.
The people are united. We aren't afraid of you anymore.
Oh, really? We'll see about that, won't we, daughter?
No! Unhand her!
Mother, what are you doing? Alex, look out!
Well, if it isn't Sir Alexander, the pride of Everaftia, adored by every woman, envied by every man, time to put your reputation to the test.
Aha! If it isn't... Sorry, who are you?
I'm Cato, Sword of the Monarch, the Black Knight we just fought.
Oh, right. You!
Cato!
Mabel!
Cato!
Banjo!
Cato!
Whoa there, Bagel. No need to get your pantaloons in a bunch.
Are you little?
Alex, look out! Why are you so worried? Haven't you seen him fight countless times?
Against Gorax? Those weren't real. I don't think Alexander's been in an actual fight in his entire life.
This ends here, Your Grace. Please, surrender peacefully. Salvage what's left of your dignity.
I have more dignity in my pinky than you've had in your entire life, little rat!
Whatever. You lose either way.
Sir, please. It's over. Can't you see that your plan will never work? It hurts more than it helps. We don't need all of these things, these dresses and manicures. We just want to be a family again. We want you to be our mother, not our sovereign.
You say that. But if all this was gone, you would leave. I'm just trying to keep this family together.
You're trying to keep this family in power.
Fine. Have it your way.
Thank you. Now no one needs to
Cato, now!
Claire, don't.
What have you done? What have you done?
You fool! How many more innocent people will you hurt till you give up?
She needs a doctor. No, she needs her mother. I, Queen Persephone of Everaftia, abdicate my throne. Now leave me to mourn my daughter.
Hey, Alex.
Oh! Hey, how do I look?
Most heroic.
Kingly enough?
Oh, quite. You'll make the noble royal indeed.
I learned from the best.
Not me.
I meant Prissy.
Are you nervous?
Do I look nervous? I was going for that
serious yet trustworthy sovereign look.
Of course, I see it now.
You don't look too bad yourself, Princess.
After today, you can't really call me that, you know.
Suppose not. What am I supposed to call you then?
You'll figure it out. Thank you all for coming. It really means a lot to me to see all of you here today. It's been a tough journey and many sacrifices were made. My stepmother was misguided and she hurt all of us. But I do think she had one thing right. Everaftia's future is bright.
Hear, hear.
Are you ready?
As ready as I'll ever be. And now, good people of Everaftia, the moment we have all been waiting for. It is my highest honor to introduce to you the new queen of Everaftia. May she live a long and fruitful life of peace and progress. And now, ladies and gentlemen, may I present Queen Priscilla of Everaftia.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I won't let you down. As your queen, I promise to be a servant of the people. I promise to always remember that the ends do not justify the means. No matter how good my intentions are, I will always do what is right according to God's word first, trusting that He will provide a path for our kingdom to take. Above all, I promise to be humble, to care for your needs first above my own, and to remember that God makes us different for a purpose. If we live to glorify God with all that we are, then He will be magnified above all, and in every area of life, in politics, in education, in the arts, in the army, and in our day-to-day lives.
Every story needs an ending. We can find it together. We can build up each other in faith.
With our God, the great unchanging, we can stand firm together.
We can build up each other in faith. And love and hope, a tender heart and a humble mind.
And love and hope, racing across the sky.
The time as a pirate drew to an end after that last fight. By 2 battles was more than enough for a lifetime of piracy. With so much free time, I was able to try a lot of new things, like baths. Even took a couple of magic classes from Gorax the Terrible.
Finally free from the Queen's payroll, Brunhilde and I trademarked terrible magic and opened a teaching school for aspiring young illusionists. People came from all over to learn our secrets, but I was especially proud of an old pupil, Cato, who finally found his way as well.
I was appointed Stephen Squire after he was knighted. I received a merciful pardon from Queen Priscilla, even though I had so much to learn about right and wrong. Thankfully, Stephen was a great teacher and an even better friend.
Being a Knight of the Queen was my greatest honor. After serving Sir Alexander, of course. I discovered that by following him for so many years, I learned to lead even better. Not to mention, as a Knight of the Queen, I was able to meet the loveliest girl, my future bride.
The most dashingest, daringest knight ever, Sir Stephen, became my handsome husband. And I also opened a chain of secondhand clothing stores. I had to do something with all those shoes. My sister Pipsy, on the other hand, became a true hero in her own right.
The word preserver might be more accurate. I did help Everaftia come out of debt by advising some wisely placed investments and several charity actions. I became a professor of economics at the prestigious University of Everaftia, staying close to home. Someone had to keep Mother company.
Sometimes we stand tall, sometimes we feel small, sometimes we rise above or fall below, or we're just caught in between, don't know where to go.
While I'll admit my actions merited a short time of reflection and, well, imprisonment. Eventually, I was deemed no longer a threat to the kingdom. Priscilla taught me that getting what you want isn't the only thing that matters, but how you get those things matters too.
I strove to rule in a way that would honor God. Thanks to Pipsy, we pulled out of poverty and the kingdom is now thriving. I worked hard to keep every promise that I made to the people, and when I failed, I was met with grace and forgiveness. And it helps that God gave me the wonderful Alexander to share the burdens and joys of life with.
The wisest queen who ever reigned forgave me of my shortcomings and accepted my proposal for marriage. Love was right in front of my eyes, and I almost missed it. She was an example of Christ-like grace in my life, pushing me to be a better man, a man who measures himself by the word of God and not by human expectations. As for Claire, you can expect she didn't stick around Everaftia for very long.
I knew my place wasn't in the castle, and Captain Fleetwood's retirement left a vacancy in the pirate gang. We set sail a week later as privateers of the crown. I guess it all worked out once I learned to appreciate Prissy's strengths, even though they were my weaknesses. I'm thankful we're different, with different dreams and goals. Instead of fighting all the time, we can work together. And instead of being in competition, we can root for one another.
Sometimes we get caught up in the things that only divide us. Sometimes we try to show up each other by proving that we are right, instead of putting what makes us different aside. Every story needs an ending. We can find it together.